It was brought to my attention maybe a month or so ago that there was a new segment done on LSPDFR in the Australian media. I thought we'd take a brief moment to examine it. Anytime LSPDFR is mentioned in kind of the mainstream media, if you want to call it that, it's never in a positive light. I remember a few years ago, maybe it was in Florida with LCPDFR, there were police departments complaining or trying to take action against the creators of skins to model real-life police departments. I guess they thought it reflected bad or poorly on their department. That's one of the reasons I try not to use any real-life police department skins. I stick to the lore. But this segment out of Australia was too much not to elicit an address by me. The actual segment, it's about 2.5 minutes long. We'll take a look at it. I'll pause and address some things they say. I believe this aired in February 2017 on one of their major networks.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Now, there's anger this morning over a black market version of the popular video game Grand Theft.
Okay, first off, black market version. I'm not sure where they got that term from, but that's kind of funny.
Theft Auto. 7 News has revealed hackers have created...
Actually, those two segments were from GTA 4.
...a variation which lets gamers attack New South Wales police. Look at this. It looks quite...
Okay. She said this version of the game lets users attack New South Wales police. If you watch any of the Australian LSPDFR players on YouTube, mainly Darkmire Gaming comes to mind, they don't use it to attack the police. They use it to play as the police in a game that otherwise incentivizes criminal activity.
Real. Officers are planning action against the designers of this game. This is a hot
I'm not
topic
sure
this
what
morning.
actions
Let's bring in
they can
Herald
apply
Sun,
to the
Susie
designers
O'Brien
of the
and Ron
game.
Wilson from Smooth FM. Good morning to both
Morning.
of you.
Morning.
Susie, given this is a hack, I actually didn't know that Grand Theft Auto was still on the market. It's pretty violent itself, but this is
okay. So I mean, it's not necessarily a hack. I guess someone who's uninformed about it, it's a modification, but fair enough.
Terrible hack.
And was GTA 5 banned from Australia? Because apparently, I know Australia has such a long history of like censoring things. I know certain games have come out where a different version has to be released in Australian markets.
Can police actually really do anything about it?
This is the real problem, Sam. Police seem to be completely unable to do anything. And this isn't just a problem in New South Wales. The Victorian Police Commissioner, Graham Ashton, has come out and said that Grand Theft Auto generation, that's his term, is responsible for 8% increases in youth violence year on year. And what we're seeing is a generation of kids who are socially isolated. They're playing these games for 10, 15 hours a day. And what they see is there's no reset button on reality, and the game...
I hate this always kind of unfair take older generations have on younger generations who play video games. I mean, obviously, Grand Theft Auto doesn't mimic real life, but they always draw this comparison that our younger generation can't see the difference between a video game and real world, which I just don't seem to be the case. It might be the case for one-off scenarios, but to label a whole generation being under this spell of video games, it's kind of misleading.
Games that they're playing have huge amounts of violence, and there's absolutely no consequences. And I honestly have to say to parents, if you've got young teenagers who are socially isolated, have a violent sort of background, and they're playing these games for hours and hours a day, you've got to get your head read. Get them off these games.
Yeah, because look at these. They look quite realistic.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
frightening, isn't it? Ron,
Yeah.
do you think, as Susie said, in some households, in some areas, these kind of video games could make young people anti-police.
Well, it's interesting you say that. It's a chicken and egg thing. I've read a lot of research.
That blows my mind with any LSPDFR video. Generally speaking, those videos are pro-police and their actions. So to somehow derive that they're anti-police blows my mind.
Research on this over 20 years, and I'm interested in Graham Ashton's findings about the increase in youth violence associated with these games, because general research has found that's not necessarily.
Look at this headline: video game modified to allow players to attack NSW police. Not true.
The case. This sort of violence doesn't always cause the violence, but it can add to people who are already of a violent nature. So it's really interesting to see where it goes. What I think it does more than anything else is it breaks down any respect for authority, and I think that goes to the very fabric of our society. So even if it doesn't actually increase the amount of youth violence, I think this certainly does reduce the amount of respect.
You can tell that these people have done little to no research about LSPDFR and what it allows you to do in Grand Theft Auto 5.
For people like police, and I think that's an important part of our society, something that we have to maintain.
Yeah.
And there the video ends. So obviously they completely misrepresented what LSPDFR is and what it allows you to do. They somehow turned this into a whole anti-police segment with the youth. It just blows my mind they're able to derive that from watching any type of LSPDFR video. So I thought I would just give my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? I mean, it doesn't shine a good light on the LSPDFR community, and I just think it's completely misrepresented it.